We're going to get into Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol, and also how this match plus Tank's next match is still making Shakur Stevensons' resume look better. Let's get into this. So, Shakur Stevensons' resume, it just keeps aging better and better. And the more you just look into things, there's more hidden gems and even more being created. So let's first get into Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. Who do I think is going to win and why? So, I'll get right to it, and I'm just going to go right ahead and tell you who I think is going to win, which is I'm going with Dmitry Bivol for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, Dmitry Bivol is the only man so far in the past decade to beat Canelo Alvarez, the only man since Floyd Mayweather, the GOAT, did so himself. So that's one reason right there. And even after that, Canelo's still doing good. So that just proves how great of a fighter Dmitry Bivol is, because he just completely dominated Canelo. And Canelo's no joke. He's out there beating other people. So then you have the fact that ever since everyone's been criticizing Shakur Stevenson for not getting the KO, I don't know if you at home have noticed, but a lot of criticism went Shakur Stevenson's way because he didn't get the knockout. But I don't know if everyone noticed this part where a lot of the same people who were guaranteed to get knockouts right after this happened, they all went 12 rounds. They all went 12. So, even when Shakur Stevenson went into his locker room after winning the match, he goes into his locker room. He sees a legend in there. His name is Terence Crawford. What does Terence Crawford say to him? You should have done this. You should have done that. If he said you should have done anything, then that's criticism, right? So, Shakur Stevenson didn't take it the wrong way. He just took the criticism. But Terence Crawford was on a KO streak. He'd been knocking out every single opponent. Many opponents. And just so happens the very next match after he said that to Shakur Stevenson, he goes 12 rounds. Well, that must be it, Mr. Lightning. Nope. Because then you got another guy. His name is Virgil Ortiz. You think he said something about Shakur not getting the KO, being a little boring maybe? Of course he did. So he must have got the KO the very next match after saying something like that, right? He had knocked out every single opponent. He guaranteed to get the KO, right? Nope. Goes 12 in his next match too. The list goes on and on. Teofimo Lopez. Man, he's got pretty good hands. He'd get somebody out of there, right? 12. All these guys keep going 12 after criticizing Shakur Stevenson, or after their fans criticize Shakur Stevenson. So, why I say this, there's others too, but I'm going to jump to my point really quick. There's other guys who went 12 as well, but I'm going to jump to my point. The reason I bring this up is because of the Bivol versus Beterbiev match. And one of these guys has a 100% KO ratio, Artur Beterbiev. And he, after that happened to Shakur Stevenson, he will also go 12 after being perfect in his KOs so far. So Dmitry Bivol is going to beat the brakes off of Artur Beterbiev. And it will just be another guy who their fans criticize Shakur Stevenson for not getting a KO. And then their guy goes out there and does it the very next match. It'll just be one more to add to the list. And that brings me to my next point, because it hasn't happened yet, but there's going to be another. And the guy that Tank Davis is fighting proves another point. So let me get into this part of it. So, Giovanni Tank Davis, he's going to go 12 in his next match, just like the rest of all these guys who are guaranteed to get all these KOs. He's going to go 12 too. You know, just like Rayo Valenzuela went 12. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of examples. So, Giovanni Tank Davis, he's going to be the next to go 12 against Lamont Roach, coming up from 130 pounds. That's who Tank's fighting. Dudes that he's pulling up from 130 pounds. You know what I mean? So, now, what does that say about Shakur Stevenson's resume, Mr. Lightning? There's no way Lamont Roach would have anything to do with that, right? Wrong again. Wrong again. Man, this is too easy. It keep happening. So anyways, right? Shakur Stevenson, he had beaten a man by the name of Jamel Herring. You'd never believe who he beat already. Who did Jamel Herring beat the crap out of? None other than Lamont Roach. And now he's become a champion after getting beat up by someone that Shakur Stevenson beat up. Now this guy's in contention to fight Tank Davis. So Shakur Stevenson, his resume, man, it didn't look like nothing at first, but once you dissect this and let a little time pass, it's one thing after another, with him being on the top of the totem pole when it comes to this stuff. So, Shakur Stevenson, his hands have been operated on. Everybody criticized him for not letting his hands go, and now they realize that he had an injury, needed to have surgery, and was just waiting for the right time to do it. And now it was necessary, he had to do it. And if he was having that much success with injured hands, and we're talking shutting guys down 12-0, imagine when he come back with his hands healed, the guys are gonna be ducking and running from Shakur Stevenson even more than they are now. So I got Dmitry Bivol just completely dominating Artur Beterbiev. I see a good match happening at points, like in the beginning and at certain points throughout the match. And other than that, I got Dmitry Bivol letting his hands go like similar to what he did to Canelo. And Artur Beterbiev getting pummeled by most of that and then losing the match. So what do you at home think about this? Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button.